You've spent hours, days, maybe even years listening, learning, absorbing every idea, every podcast, every book. But tell me this, when was the last time you used it? You see, there's a hidden addiction nobody talks about, one that disguises itself as intelligence, growth, even purpose. But what if your obsession with learning is the very thing holding you back? You might begin to notice how long you've been waiting to speak, how often you say, "I just need to learn a little more," while your real life quietly waits in the background. This video isn't here to teach you something new. It's here to wake you up. Because the next breakthrough in your life won't come from another video. It'll come the moment you stop consuming and finally start becoming. So ask yourself, are you truly growing or just looping in silence? We live in an age of unprecedented access to information. Every day, we're bombarded with news articles, podcasts, online courses, and endless streams of content designed to educate and inform. It's like an avalanche, a relentless flow of data that threatens to bury us. We tell ourselves we're expanding our minds, sharpening our skills, and becoming more well-rounded individuals. And in some ways, that's true. But what happens when the intake valve is always open and the output valve remains stubbornly closed? What happens when we become so focused on absorbing knowledge that we forget to actually use it? This is where the problem begins. This is where listening, that valuable skill, starts to turn toxic. Think about it. Learning is comfortable. It's relatively safe. We can sit back, relax, and let the information wash over us. We can feel a sense of accomplishment simply by completing a course or finishing a book. The act of listening itself provides a sense of progress. But is it really progress? The truth is, consuming information is only half the battle. Real growth happens when we apply that information, when we synthesize it, when we use it to create something new or to solve a problem. It's in the application, the execution, that the real learning takes place. And that's where many of us get stuck. We become addicted to the feeling of being informed, of being in the know. We tell ourselves that we need to learn just one more thing before we're ready to take action. We convince ourselves that we're not quite ready, that we need more knowledge, more skills, more experience. This is the listener's trap. It's a comfort zone disguised as growth. It's a way to avoid the discomfort of putting ourselves out there, of risking failure, of being vulnerable. This constant consumption can create a dangerous illusion of progress. You might begin to notice how long you've been waiting to speak up, to share your ideas, to start that project you've been dreaming about. You're constantly learning, constantly adding to your mental database. But are you truly moving forward? Ask yourself, are you truly growing or just looping? Are you mastering ideas or just collecting them? It's time for some honest self-awareness. Are you using knowledge as a shield against fear? Are you hiding behind a wall of information, afraid to step into the arena and risk being judged? This feeling often leads to anxiety and perfectionism traps. The constant influx of information, combined with the pressure to learn and grow, can lead to significant anxiety. We feel like we're constantly falling behind, that we're not learning enough, that we're not keeping up. This anxiety fuels a dangerous cycle of overconsumption, leading to even more stress and overwhelm. This is where perfectionism traps come into play. We become obsessed with learning everything, with knowing everything, before we even attempt to put our knowledge into practice. We tell ourselves that we need to be perfect, that we need to have all the answers before we can share our ideas with the world. This paralyzing perfectionism prevents us from taking action. We become afraid of making mistakes, of being wrong, of not living up to our own impossible standards. This fear keeps us trapped in the listener's zone, forever consuming but never creating. And here's the most painful part. By constantly listening and never speaking, by constantly consuming and never creating, we are essentially giving the silent treatment to our own potential. We are silencing our own voices, stifling our own creativity, and denying the world the unique perspective that we have to offer. Think about all the knowledge you've accumulated, all the insights you've gained, all the experiences you've had. That's a treasure trove of wisdom just waiting to be shared. But if you keep it locked away inside, it's useless. It's like a seed that never gets planted, a tree that never gets to grow. As you sit in silence, it becomes harder to ignore the pull to share. That feeling of needing to express yourself becomes stronger. Teaching is not the opposite of learning, it's the completion of it. The transformation happens when you share, when you synthesize, when you risk sounding imperfect, but real. When you actively apply what you've learned, you solidify your understanding and make it truly your own. You move beyond memorization and into mastery. Sharing your knowledge is not just beneficial for others, it's also incredibly beneficial for you. It forces you to organize your thoughts, to articulate your ideas, and to refine your understanding. It challenges you to think critically about what you've learned and to connect it to your own experiences. Imagine a man who spent years listening to others, attending seminars, reading books, and absorbing every piece of information he could find. He was a sponge, soaking up knowledge like a desert after a rain. He was full of great ideas, but he never spoke. He never shared his insights. He never put his knowledge into practice. He was afraid of being judged, afraid of being wrong, afraid of failing. Then, one day, he had an epiphany. He realized that he had been living a lie. He had been pretending to be a student, when in reality, he was a teacher in disguise. He decided to take a risk. He decided to start sharing his knowledge with others. At first, it was terrifying. He stumbled over his words, he made mistakes, and he felt vulnerable. But he persisted. He kept sharing, kept teaching, and kept learning from his experiences. And something amazing happened. His knowledge became wisdom. His ideas became reality, and his life became meaningful. Stop overthinking and take action. Stop waiting for the perfect moment, for the perfect opportunity, for the perfect level of knowledge. The perfect moment doesn't exist. The best way to learn is by doing. Embrace the imperfect. Embrace the messiness. Embrace the mistakes. These are all essential parts of the learning process. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, even if you don't feel completely ready. Start small. Share your ideas with a friend, write a blog post, create a video, or start a conversation online. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become. Remember that you don't have to be an expert to share your knowledge. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to be willing to share what you know, to offer your perspective, and to help others. This is about stop overthinking and take action. Don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. It's time for reflective thinking. Start by examining your own habits. Are you spending more time consuming information than you are applying it? Are you using knowledge as a form of procrastination or as a genuine tool for growth? Identify the areas where you feel most comfortable listening and the areas where you feel most hesitant to speak. What are the fears and insecurities that are holding you back? Challenge your limiting beliefs. Remind yourself that you have valuable insights to offer, that your voice matters, and that the world needs your unique perspective. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Acknowledge that it's okay to make mistakes, to be imperfect, and to feel vulnerable. These are all part of the human experience. It is important to exercise critical thinking when consuming information. Ask yourself these questions. Where is the information coming from? Is the source reliable? Is the information biased? Am I letting this information influence my thoughts and actions? Don't fall for clickbait titles. Make sure you are absorbing accurate information. It's time to focus on yourself. It's time to unleash your inner voice. The world doesn't need more listeners. It needs someone brave enough to speak. What if the wisdom you've gathered was never meant to stay inside you? What if your experiences, your insights, and your knowledge could make a positive impact on the lives of others? What if you were the missing piece that someone else needed to solve a problem, to overcome a challenge, or to achieve their dreams? So, what insight are you still holding on to? What knowledge are you afraid to share? Take a moment to reflect on this. Identify one small action you can take today to start sharing your knowledge with the world. Maybe it's writing a social media post, starting a blog, or simply having a conversation with someone you trust. The world needs your voice. Don't let it stay silent. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to explore this important topic with me. And remember, the next evolution of your growth isn't in what you consume next, but in what you dare to give back. Now go out there and make your voice heard.